Hi there. Today I'm going to explore the randomly selected website. And to do this, I will actually perform like basic privacy audit. Usually I do this for the clients that have websites that have for mobile apps and that actually needs to perform the privacy audit. So the difference between the regular audit and the audit that I will perform today is that this one specifically will be a bit shorter, first of all, because we don't have so much time. And for sure, other part of difference that we will have is that we don't have any internal information from the website owner, right? Because this is, as I've mentioned, this is a randomly selected website, and we cannot get any internal documentation, any approvals from the company that owns this website. That's why we will try to guess what's actually their purposes for the collection of personal data from this website, what the scope of personal data that is collected from website visitors, because today I'm going to explore this tour this website actually walks through. I will do it from their website visitor perspective, right? Not as a client of the company, but as a website visitor. And that's why we will actually concentrate today's audit on this specifically, this category, this data subjects category, website visitor, and we'll analyze the functionality of this website. We will analyze the website forms that are present on the website, right? So as I've mentioned, I will try to guess their underlying purposes that for which the company needs this personal data from users. And I will also check, maybe I will investigate and I will see some investigation, some tools, some third-party service providers that are integrated on this website. And it will help me to guess for what purposes and with what categories of vendors the company, the website owner might share information with. After this, after I will check all these details, I will verify the existing information within the privacy policy with the real practices of the company. So let's begin. Now you will see on the screen, you already see that I have opened Google Chrome web page. It is open in the incognito mode, and it is done intentionally so we can see the clear picture of everything that will happen there. So no preset cookies. This website will be visited for the first time right now. So I will copy the link to everything that I know right now. Is just the link that we actually use today. Nestify.io. This is their name of the website that we are checking today. Okay, so we are here on this website already. Yeah, I'm just checking. Okay, so we see the landing page, or actually the home page of the website, Nestify. So first of all, I want to understand the nature of this business, because this is essential for understanding their purposes that are behind the possible collection practices of this website owner. So let me check it first. So manage WordPress hosting optimized for AI SEO. We'll see here the short description of the company's partners or maybe clients. Here we see the description of the features, I guess, of the services. So the company uses definitely some AI tools to provide the services. As you might see from this description, you have their optimization, SEO optimization, expert support 24 hours per 7 days. And I already see this from this integrated chatbot tool. That is one of their features that I've just mentioned, that we might see some third-party providers here. Let's see again some just names of different brands. Perhaps these are the clients of this website owner. Next one, we see the subscriptions prices, right? The different models, the different subscription lines here. View pricing, start today trial. we will explore this feature. We will click on all these buttons just in a second, because now I just want to get their general idea of the company's audience, possible audience, and possible clients. Okay, so this is for risk-free. This is about actually the testing of the services, right? So you can get your money back. Okay, multiple secure data central locations worldwide. So this is the first hint actually that I might cast about this, that company might have audience worldwide, because I see that they mentioning that they have multiple data centers across the world. So possibly they target audience around the world, but it's not for sure right now. So the reviews from the customers. Okay. Another button to check the pricing and free trial. Possibly they are the same like the one that we saw before, like this, but we will check them as well for sure. And footer of the website, where we see the links to terms of service and to the privacy policy. But the privacy policy will be our last step, our last stage today, because first we need to check their website features. We'll need to check all actually collection points, as I've mentioned, right? Before we will go and verify this information within privacy policy. So today I'm going to check these web pages, these separate web pages that website has. Usually they might have additional website forms, additional maybe like features, some social media plugins presented there. That's why we also need to check all of them. Company Nestify, this some kind of, I don't know, maybe these are external links, but let me see. Oh no, this is not external links. These are, okay, this is just a description, the comparison actually. Yeah, they're comparing their services to their competitors. Okay, so we might need to check these web pages as well. And here, hosting solutions. And let me check just one web page just for now. Okay, we have another buttons as well, the one that might collect some personal data as well. So we will check these web pages. Yeah, we'll also check these web pages definitely. Okay, so from the first point, from what I see right now, is that the company's audience, basically, I guess that it's B2B business, right? So they do offer their services to business, first of all, legal entities, right? But for sure, it doesn't mean that this company doesn't collect personal data, right? So because as I've mentioned, we have today user walkthrough, and so I'm performing this audit from the website visitor perspective as an individual, and meaning that the company somehow collects my data as well. And now we'll try to explore this website in more detail. So the first feature I want to pay your attention to that I see right now is that Nestify company. We have this name of their company that possibly is the owner of this website, right? Nestify Internet Incorporation, and they are registered in Nashville, Tennessee, right? So the company is registered in the United States. This is our first hint. So basically, they target United States residents. We'll need also to check whether the company targets other users, so meaning residents from other countries, from different regions. We will check this. I will tell you a bit later, like what is their methods of checking this one. But as of now, we know exactly that the company targets United States residents. And let's come back to the beginning of the homepage, so we can start clicking on the buttons, exploring this website forms, right? So exploring this data collection points. So what I see right now, I see that we have login feature. I don't see sign in feature, but possible issue is that when I click on this one, I will be targeted to the possibility to switch from login to sign up. So let's check it first. Okay, so what I see now that I actually don't have the option to sign up, as you see, right? I cannot register, I cannot create my account, but I can log in. So what it means, why is it possible, and what is usually it means? In practice, if we talk about business B2B form of cooperation, business actually gets the data of their potential customers, of their clients from different collection points, and sometimes it happens even through external channels. So if the company might actually advertise their services not only on this website, right? So they may advertise their services on social media, for example, and we also saw the option to get trial, right? So possibly after the client, after a user get a trial, or maybe explored the features of the company and decided to move forward. So what actually happens is that this client somehow wants to continue using the services, and then the company, Nestify company, connects with this specific user and actually helps somehow to provide access to their services. As we don't see any options to create an account right now, it means that the company does it in external way, right? So maybe they provide some additional details to this client, to the user, and they can create their accounts through other links, through external links that we don't see right now here. And then when they have this features, when they have their credentials, the email address, and they already created their password before, they can log into the system, right? Because now I don't have this option, right? But for sure, we can see and we can confirm right now that the company collects email addresses. Okay, but email addresses from their clients. Don't forget this, because now I'm exploring the website visitor perspective. Okay, so first buttons. Let's see, we have plans and pricing, but we already checked them before and they are here. So let's get back to another button. Start 7-day trial for free. Let's check this. Okay, so now we see that I can create this account. So this was the issue. Remember, we explored their login form and we didn't see the option to sign in, right? To sign up. But now we can create an account right now, right? And to enter all the details. I can enter my name here, I can enter email address, and for sure a password. And with these details, I will be able to enter the platform possibly, right? I will be able to get this free trial. So first of all, we can see the two points, two data pieces that are collected from there. This is name and email addresses. This is for contact details. Let's move forward and see what we'll explore next. And here they mention that credit card is not required, which is good that the company uses and it adheres to minimization principle, right? They do not enter, the users don't need to enter their payment details before they decide to proceed, which is smart, I would say. Let's see what other points of collection we can see. Start 7-day trial. We already tried this button, so let's try to see view pricing. So this is the separate web page that actually dedicated to the pricing in comparison of different subscription plans. They just comparison, again, start free trial, the same issue. This is for larger companies. Yeah, possibly this the one that have higher demands in these services. Contact us. Okay, so sign up here. Possibly the same form, but let's check. Yeah, this is the same form. What else we have? Contact us. Let's check this one. Okay, so what I see now that we were transferred to a separate domain. You can see it right here. So this is not Nestify website. It's not a subdomain page. This is a separate domain right now, meaning that this data possibly collected by another company, right? So, but at this Savvy call, so this is a separate tool, separate integration, I guess integration services that the company rely on when they want to get in contact with their perspective, with their potential clients, and they want to get this 30-minute calls with them, and you can definitely book, for example, this one. Okay, so you see here that you are entering your details, again, your full name, your email address, and you can schedule a time slot, and the company will get in touch with you and will possibly will answer on all your questions that you have with regard to their services. So the issue is here that the company uses these vendors, this Savvy Call company, for managing their bookings, right? For managing their calls, which is also a normal practice. A lot of companies use Calendly, for example, right? So in this case, I see this vendor for the first time, but anyway, this is only the type of provider, right? Not more. So still the company stays the data controller in these relationships because this is their decision to collect this data and to provide the services, for sure. That's why they are collecting this data to get in touch with their perspectives. So I will keep this page open as of now, just because I will be in the next step. I will check the privacy policy, right? I will check the sections within the privacy policy, and not to forget about the existence of this vendor, the existence of this purpose of processing. I will keep it open. Getting back to the pricing page. So we've explored Contact Us. Let's move forward. We see here features. Again, start free trial, but this is the same. Okay, so we are moving forward. Our clients, again, pricing comparison, the same. Again, customers review that we've already explored, and also another button, pricing and free trial. But I guess it will be the same. Yeah, so all these buttons are leading us to the same web page with the pricing, where we can order a call by clicking on the Contact Us, or we can actually start our trial. Okay, so it was the pricing. Let's get back. Oh, it was too bad. Okay, let's get back and see. Let's explore from the top of the website. So we see that different web pages dedicated to the principle of working, I guess, for how this works, the features, different solutions. So this is like products of the company, and pricing already explored. And in the final stage, we will see blog page. So how it works. I see it looks like, right, this is a web page. Look at this. This is a web page from blog. So it just explaining how these services work. And we see here another window that just appeared here that proposes us again to book a free trial and to test the services, which we will not do as of now, right? Okay, so this is the explanation of how the services work. And here you can see the link to sign up. So we can use it and to actually be transferred to the same page where we can enter our contact details and when we can create our account within this company. And start my 7-day trial. A lot of I see these buttons that are leading us, that are forcing us to actually to register, right, and to test the services. Okay, we got this. Let's check another button, features. Features should explain different products, right? Or maybe specifics of the services. So hosting built for WordPress. So the company does provide hosting services, right? So what else they do have? They help you with their speed optimization for websites. Okay. Cloud native hosting. Okay. So speed, security, peace of mind. This is again the features, the specifics of the companies. Nothing more. View pricing, again, we've already seen this, so we just omit this. Solutions. Yeah, we'll need to check all these pages separately. So we check in the first solution, managed WordPress hosting, powered by Amazon Web Services. So again, the same button to see, to check the pricing, the subscriptions, and to check and to get the trial. View pricing, all these forms, they are the same. So not to waste our time now, what I'm going to do, this is the frequently asked questions, nothing specific as you might see here. And these buttons all the same. So I'm checking one more time in other solutions, for example, just to compare and to ensure that there is nothing more, that nothing additional is collected. So book a demo. Let's check this because previously it was called 7-day trial. Maybe it's something else. Oh, okay, so book a demo. This is the same page that leading us to there is vendor providers, let's say their window, right, that where you can book a call with the company and possibly explore their features that you are interested in. An explanation of this feature, explanation of this product. Features, again, characteristics different. Another sections of frequently asked questions, and that is all. So I actually got the idea of these descriptions. I understand that the main issue, the main purpose of this is to get a bit more details of specific solutions that the company offers and to be able to connect with the users, with the interested parties that want to explore more, that want maybe to offer to actually to they want to get the services or maybe to try the services, you know. So pricing, this the next page in our header, but we are not exploring it now because we already did it. Okay, so we're moving next to the blog, to the blog feature. So the blog features always really interesting for exploring because they do have sometimes special plugins integrated within the website, like I already mentioned, social media plugins like buttons, you know, when you can like this post and also you can share it with on your social media account, and in this case your data also your data from your social media is shared with the company, and for sure your behavior, your user behavior is shared with your social media platform where you have this account. So let's see whether the company has this feature integrated, and then we will move forward and explore next pages. Let's select, I don't know, let's select some random article here. So the same, actually it's presented in the same way as we saw about their article, how it works. Again, another window that that want us to get this free trial, right? So we are closing it again. We don't need it right now. I see a lot of hyperlinks here, so possibly they all leading to the explanation of some. So this hyperlinks, they are leading to their other to the other articles from the blogs of the company. So you don't need this now. Okay, so this is the article. They're just there. Let's see what we can find here as well. Okay, descriptions of the features. Another one. Okay. Nothing that I can see from like social media plugins. I cannot verify that it is presented right now, But let me check also some other blog articles. So let's move to the next one. Again, I will scroll it a bit faster just to actually to save our time, because these articles are pretty big. So, and I don't see any data collection points. I mean, like active data collection points. This is an important issue, because we still, even when I am exploring, there are still some data that might be collected passively, but we will explore this next. And one more article to make this final check, okay? Okay, so the same descriptions, features, explanation of this product. Yeah, moving next, and that is all. So no, I don't see anything that could actually signal about existence of some active collection points at this moment. I also don't see any window, any special form for leaving comments from users. Sometimes some blogs have this functionality when you can comment, when you can leave some reactions, and in this case you might also share your personal information, like your contact details or your first name and your last name. It depends on the features, but nothing there, right? You see. So let's explore next features. What I can see right now is that I do see here an integrated chat tool. So the company claimed that they do provide their services 24 hours per 7 days. So that's for sure, that is always, when the companies claim this, it's always integrated through these chat tools, right? Chatbots sometimes. So let's see what we might find here. Okay, at this point, they're offering me to enter their email address. After this, I guess I would be able to get in contact with some member of their support team. So I will not enter any personal information at this stage. So my actually goal today is just to identify all these collection points. But I will comment on this specific window so you would get better understanding of what happening next. So usually when you enter your email address, the company might also ask you about like how we can name you. So what is your first name, what is your last name? Maybe they only ask about the first name, it doesn't matter. So anyway, they will collect your email address, they will collect your name. And what is happening next is that you are getting in contact with their support team, and you're explaining your reason of the contact, right? So sometimes these windows, these chat tools, they also allow you to attach some files there. And remember, when we're talking about any attachments in the form of files, documents, images, pictures, photographs, all these documents, all these types of files, they might contain personal data. A lot of companies forgetting about this because they might think that the user will not share any personal information within these files, within these attachments, but it's not real. So in practice, what we see is that a lot of personal information are hidden within these windows, within these attachments as well. So we need to remember about this. We need to remember that the company uses chat tools, that the company actually collects the data of users to process their requests, right? And that's why I will keep this window open as well, so we can check our privacy policy and verify whether the company mentions all these data collection pieces and these purposes of processing. I'm keeping this open, but I'm just opening a new window. Okay, so again, all these windows that are appearing again and again. So here our window with the customer support, here's our booking window, and here's our login form, but we know that we do also have sign up form, and there's details collected there as well. So what we are doing next, I guess that I will close this window now from here. Okay, so it disappeared. And I will move to the footer of the website. So the contact details of the company, we also can see their external links that are leading to Twitter or X platform, to Facebook, and all these platforms, I guess that this is the platforms, the account profiles of the company on the social media. And again, these are, okay, let's check, because we're talking about these features, let's check them as well. Maybe we will find something else there and some new information. I see that integrated YouTube video here. Webhome, maybe not YouTube, it might be Vimeo actually. So this is some kind of video integration tool that helps company to demonstrate some issues. By the way, they might also collect or place some cookies on the website, third-party cookies. We will explore them the next stage. But I don't see any other collection points from this part, so we'll get back. Yes, so I'm closing this window and I'm staying here. Let's check this comparison of this GoDaddy. We already closed Cloudways. Let's see Cloudways alternative. So this is the same idea. The company offers you to try their services for free, so the same trial as we've explored. They also comparing their services with, for sure, with the competitors here, and they show you the difference. Again, offering start for your trial, the same. Again, explanation of the features, everything that we have already seen. Frequently asked questions and price not free trial. So the same idea here. So I'm closing this and moving to the next one. So this actually blocks, sorry, I didn't edit intentionally. So this blocks this website pages, they are repeating here because we already explored them. We've explored about us with features, pricing, and blog. Let's check affiliates because we haven't seen it before. So earned 150 per referral by joining our affiliate program. Join now. So something new. Let me check. Yeah, and here you go. And this is a new, really broad form, as you might see. This is a special form for partners of the company, for affiliates that actually want to be affiliates and to earn with the company. So I see a lot of information that is collected from here. First of all, I want to say you that we will not fill in this form because we are exploring today. Our walkthrough is made from website visitor perspective, but for sure, if a user, if some kind of individual decides to stay with the company, to earn with the company, they might fill in all this information, right? And the company also will be acting in the role of data controller at this point, because this company actually decides on the purposes for the processing and they decide on the means of processing, right? And in this case, the company has decided on what data collection points they are going to collect from the website visitors, from users, and for what purposes for sure they will do this. Let's explore it really quick and move forward. So first of all, username. So username might be also regarded as personal data, especially if it contains some details, personal information that can identify a person, a user. That's why username is regarded as personal data, sorry. So password, again, standard information, email address, company name, website address. So from these points, email address will be for sure personal data. Company name, this is not personal data by itself, but if the data will be analyzed together in combination, they might be also regarded as personal data because they help to identify some specific person. Website address is not piece of personal data, so we'll move more forward. Personal information. We have first name, we have last name, we have phone number and country. So all these types except for country, because it's not to identify the person in any way, right? So it's only the mentioning of the country. And phone number will be regarded as personal name or personal data, first name and last name as well. So how should we pay? So the company asks you about the way of how you want to be paid for this, for this partnership, for this affiliate partnership. And for sure, you will also need to mention your PayPal email or I guess Stripe email, right? Stripe account details. So these details are also personal information for sure. They actually relate to their financial details of a person, of individual. Next window, next feature here, terms and conditions of service. This is a good one because the company actually discloses their terms of cooperation, how they're going to provide you services, what they're going to do, what actually your rights, what are their obligations, what limitations of liability they have, disclaimers of warranties, what I see here. We will not explore in this, we are exploring only privacy policies today, and we'll explore the functionality from their perspective of user who actually shares some personal data. That's why we don't stay in here. But then from interesting point is that, let me check. I see terms of service, terms of conditions, but I want to check whether the company included privacy policy here as well. I don't see here from first review, but maybe they have some hidden links inside that are leading to the privacy policy as well. I see here acceptable use policy, which is not a privacy policy, but I don't see any links to privacy policy. It's really strange, you know, because I see a lot of such examples that a lot of companies do when they place the terms of services, the links, they actually provide the users with their right to review them before they sign into this, before they agree to this. And we even see here a checkbox that allow us to confirm our acceptance and our acknowledgement of these terms. But at the same time, the company doesn't provide any links to privacy policy before user will agree to this. And this is one of their big problems, a lot of mistakes that companies tend to do. They do not disclose their collection, their personal data collection practices before collecting any data. And here this company collects pretty a lot of data, right? You might see much more than a regular website visitor. So for sure, the first failure, the first let's say, that recommendation for the website owner is to place privacy policy as well here, so your users, your potential partners would be aware of your existing practices of how you're actually going to use this data. And how did you hear about us? This is a regular question in the forms. It doesn't relate to personal data, so it's fine. So, and after agreeing to this, you're creating an account, and possibly your application will be processed by the company, and then they will decide whether they want to engage with you or not. Anyway, the first failure we already seen here, but that's all as of this point. So we've explored, as of now, we've finished exploring active data collection points. We have seen different windows, different push buttons that are actually leading to some web collection forms. The forms that are collecting personal details from website visitor. And we've seen that we can create an account where we can share name, email address. We can also book a consultation or book a call with the company to investigate their services. And for this purpose, the company used some vendor. And also you can see the pricing, but it didn't have any personal data. you can also book a free trial, right? So you can book a free trial, and the same, you need to leave your email address and your name, right, to create an account and to test the services. So this is everything about data collection points that are collected from users actively. So meaning that data subjects, they need to voluntarily share this information to be able for the company to process this, right? So, but now I wanted to take a look on possible tracking technologies and possible cookies that are placed on this website and that we might see. To do this, I will, first of all, I will activate cookies. So by default, when you enter in incognito mode, by default, your third-party cookies are blocked. But to see the full picture of possible cookies list, right? So what are actually loaded when we enter the website, we need to enable this feature. So what I'm doing right now. After this, I will enter in a new web page with the same website, and we will explore. We will see what kind of cookies are placed on the website, and we also think about the possible reason why this company does this. So you see, after I have enabled third-party cookies, the website shows me the message that I need to reload it. So these cookies could be actually uploaded. So I'm reloading this website now. And what I'm doing now, I will actually inspect. Yes, so I'm inspecting the website, the cookies on the website. So cookies, this actually their web developer panel. In most cases, the company technical specialist and security team, they work with this a lot of, and it helps. Or not, now it just will give me the general overview of all cookies that are uploaded on the website, and they are actually task right now. So here's, you can see there, you can do it by yourself as well. You can check this in this web developer mode, and you can see their cookies that are placed in this incognito mode. For sure, you will not be able, and I will not be able to investigate and to classify all these cookies right now, because it will take a lot of time, and we'll need to use additional technical tools, additional clarification cookies tools to be able to classify them and to specify the purposes of each of this cookie element. But for sure, I will say from my practice, because I know a lot of them. They are sometimes similar, and you can identify these cookies from your experience. So we see here is this cookie, for example, this is set by Facebook. So it's meaning that the company places marketing cookies that helps to target users, that helps to actually to even to cross behavior target, right, the users. So because when you are using some advertising networks, when you're using some social media platforms which provides and which you place your advertising there, they are doing this through cookies, through pixels, which help to target your users and then show your advertising when they leave in your website. So this is what's happening when these cookies are uploaded on the website, like by Facebook, for example. So I do also see here Google Analytics cookies. So this GA identifications, they actually signal us about their cookies that are placed by Google Analytics tools. So meaning that the company uses, that they rely on Google Analytics information and insights. So they do collect, I probably do collect some, for sure, some identifying information about the portrait of users, about who actually visited the website, what they perform on this website, what they click. All this information help by using this Google Analytics tools. You actually can identify this information. So this also some double click net cookies, test cookies. as far as I remember, this NID cookies, it relates to Google Ads, Google advertising. So the same idea here. This is the one cookies that are placed for marketing purposes, to be able to track your users and to target your users. And some other cookies also by Google. So here in the domain column, you might see the calls, third-party calls, and which also signal about placing some cookies by third parties, by your partners, by your vendors, as in the situation with Google Analytics, with Google AdWords, with Google advertising, and with their Facebook, right? So that's what I see from the first perspective. Let's also see network calls that happening when we actually integrate, when we actually operate on the website and we perform some actions there. First of all, I will reload it. So what I've done right now, I've reloaded to this network to see the clear picture of all network signals that are coming from website that might actually come to third parties as well. It helps me to understand the scope of partners, of vendors that the company rely on, and actually the data flow of how the data, where the data can actually be, with what company they can be shared. And to get better understanding, I will browse this website and I will click on certain buttons, right, to see what is happening and what is changing right here. Let me filter this column domain because it helps me to see their categories of vendors in a structured way. So when we see the domain as nestify.io, meaning this is the first party in our case, we understand that this is their calls that are performed by the website, right, by this website owner. But when we see the domains to third parties like Google Analytics, you can see it right here. By the way, let me do this. Yeah, you can see here Google Analytics. Look at this. This is Facebook signals, as I've already mentioned, right, because they also placed here. Google Tag Manager, which actually helps to, it's like a container that helps you to place different tags, and you can then, through this container, to send the data to different tools like Google Analytics, like including Facebook, and through this Google Tag Manager, you can place different scripts that be sending to third-party vendors, right? So your data, your users' data, will be shared with these vendors. Google Tag Manager, it's the same. Google Analytics, Facebook, right? So Vimeo. So you remember we saw video player integrated on the website, on the blog page, right? Again, player Vimeo. So all these calls here, and this is the first party calls. Okay, let's check. So probably, let me, okay, so we need to get back to regular website, to the home page, because I want also to check the blog, to explore a blog in more details, to see maybe there are some additional pixels or trackers. Where it is, so it's here, yeah. Let me see. Let's just open the first article. It doesn't matter right now, so we just want to see the difference, what is happening when we are clicking on certain pages and articles. You can see here, so a lot of information by that yeah, this is all by Netflix. This crazy the feed and so Facebook that's actually shared with the Facebook platform, with Meta, and which helps Meta to profile your user and to target your user then with their same advertising advertising, with the advertising of their other partners, of other advertisers. So this is what is happening. So now, okay, so I see this, the whole for just general picture, it's pretty enough. Now we for sure right now we know that the company relies on analytics tools, on Google Analytics in this case. So the company also uses marketing tools and places some scripts, some marketing pixels by Facebook, right? So by Meta. And what else? So we also saw Google advertising, Google AdWords, meaning that some Google Ads, right? So that the company also places advertising through Google Ads, and this is also relates to marketing or advertising cookies. So this is all the purposes that I'm explaining right now, because this is our actually main task. But pretty a lot of information uploaded here, so really good investigation analysis is needed here. And the Google Tag Manager is used for, as a container to sharing this information that is collected with other third parties, so with other vendors. So this is what I wanted to show you just for really quick, because it's not enough to just use to take 5 minutes and to explore the website, right? But just to get a general idea, it's pretty enough. So here's also another cookies uploaded by Vimeo. So probably, so to get better understanding on every piece of cookie element that you might see here, it's not enough just to identify a domain and to see the name and that's all, right? Because you need to understand the purpose, you need to understand categories of these cookies that are placed on the website. And to do this, you will need to analyze every piece of cookies by yourself. So you can do it manually by using different cookie libraries, by exploring this through your own efforts, or you can use external tools, right, that helps to actually perform audit of cookies, trackings, and perform then categorization as well. They do it, but they also malfunction. All these tools, they actually require manual verification all the time. So you need to be careful about this. But what I can see right now, that when we enter this website and we've explored now that we see a lot of cookies here, I will close this window as of now. We didn't see any cookie consent tool, meaning any cookie banner that would signal us about their existence of cookies and that would actually allow us to set this cookies, to be able to manage the preference. We didn't see this. So possibly we don't know the reason as of now. Maybe this is the mistake of the company. Maybe they do not need to do this because they are not subject of specific laws, specific privacy laws. And we, at this point, the only issue that we know for sure is that the company targets American citizens, right? American residents, I mean, because the company is registered in Tennessee. But we don't know the whole picture of the audience, of the geography of users. So what I usually do when I want to get really fast and quick understanding of the possible audience, of the possible geography of users, of the portrait of the company, I'm checking it through the similar website, which helps me to get general understanding of their of the geography of users. So I'm copying the, let me take it from here, because I need to copy just the main domain of the company that relates to the company, nestify.io, and I will analyze their traffic. This says right now we are in incognito mode, remember, so I am not registered on the service and I cannot see better picture. I only can see here the details of their visits for February 2026. So, and they did have 39, almost 40,000 visitors, but this is, I guess, around the world. Let me, okay, so here's their audience. Let me show you. I know how to close this. Yeah, I can close this too. This. We have web traffic by country. We see that 33% is coming from the United States, Nigeria, and so unexpected target them. So meaning that they have audience from Europe as well. And this is my first signal that shows me that they might do it intentionally. I mean, they might really target this residents from the United Kingdom. Or maybe they just have some random users, which I guess cannot be true without active targeting, without active marketing. So if they do it intentionally, so we will assume that they do it. And that's meaning that they need to disclose and that they need to actually perform really good cookie audit on this website, because for all these types of cookies that I've mentioned when we talked about these categories, like marketing cookies set by Facebook and different Google Analytics cookies, Google advertising, Google ads, these types of cookies, to upload them, the company needs to get consent from their users before they will place this on their website, on their actual devices. And this is also, it's not everything, because what I need to do right now is that I will change my IP address through the VPN service, because now I'm entering the website as from the United States, right? But if the company targets users from the United Kingdom, for sure the IP address will be different. And due to geolocation rules, due to geolocation settings that usually different cookie tools have within their functionality, which helps them to upload this special cookie banners only for specific regions, like for the United Kingdom in this case. To do this, we will need for sure to change our VPN settings. So I'm using the special tool for this to check the settings. And now I'm going to change my location to, let's say, London, to test this website, how the website performs when we will open this again from with modified IP address, which is set in United Kingdom. We'll just need to wait for a couple of moments, right? And let me open a new web page for this. Okay, so I cannot enter it now from this VPN address. I don't know why. So probably they have special security features installed on the website that prohibit you to enter from a modified with modified tools when you're using VPN tools that actually modify your IP address. Maybe they do have the security features installed that actually do not allow you to do this. I'm not sure. I cannot say this because this is like, you need to verify this with the technical specialist. But anyway, unfortunately, we will not be able to test this website from United Kingdom VPN right now. So I'm closing this and I will get back to regular. I will disconnect, right? I will disconnect this VPN tool and we will try to. Okay, so I guess we see another. You have been blocked. I don't know what happened actually here. All cookies are enabled, so we still need to verify this information with this our, oh, okay, everything get back. So probably, yeah, probably there's some type of protection, website protection set on this that helps you to not to use these tools for entering the website. But anyway, at this stage, I'm not sure whether the company has any cookie consent tool present there or not, unfortunately. But our second part of today's investigation is verification of the found information with this privacy policy. And now I'm going to do this. I'm going to open the company's privacy policy, which is presented on this website footer. And I will check whether their information that is here presented on the sections of privacy policy does relate and really actually show us the real picture of what is happening in the reality. So just a couple of seconds and I will go quickly to get the general understanding of what sections are there and how they are presented. And then we will continue. Please, conservation time. Stripe, chat. Okay, so not regular privacy policy from my first impression. So let's check it from the beginning and I will comment on some moments. First of all, I see there details of the company present there. So we already seen these details on the footer of the website. We've seen the address of registration or maybe mailing address of the company and email address. This is a good practice and you always need to clarify your details, your role. And here's the company mentioned that they are presented, they are serving as a data controller. And this is good. So they do disclose that. You see, so summary. This is a short summary of this privacy policy. They are explaining what type of data they are storing and for what purposes. Really, really short description. Email address and name. Invoicing to create invoice, communication purposes. They're claiming that they do not store credit card information, which is sent directly to our payment provider. Okay, so, and they also see that you can find out what vendors they are using. Okay, and we actually see the information. We saw that were able to share any payment details, as you remember, because for activating even trial, you don't need to enter card details, remember, right? But for example, if you're already a client and you are entering in the relationship with this company, for sure you will need to enter your information. And this company claims that they provide information about their vendors that they're using later, so below. Okay, so let's see the scope of data, the types of data they collected. This is always the first section in the privacy policy. And you usually need to check within the first two sections to get the idea of the scope of personal data. So, personal data. So you might see the company discloses the sources, how they get this information, how they might receive personal data. First of all, you can get them, as I've mentioned, voluntary, if user freely provide them, or collected automatically when you're collecting it through cookies and other tracking technologies, tracking tools. Here's they mentioned as well. The user assumes responsibilities. Okay. So pay attention here that the company in the section, they do not provide the examples of personal data that they do collect, like first name, last name, email address. And actually, if we talk about affiliates that also can create their account from there, they can also they can also share a lot of information there. The company do not disclose any details about these data points at all. They do not mention the type of data categories of like data, whose data they are collecting, because there's not only website visitors. These website visitors can enter this affiliate application, and remember this one, and they can also be potential affiliates of the company, and the company also will be a data controller, but nothing mentioned about this, and no details, no personal data points are mentioned here. And again, use of cookies, they are mentioned here, but they are not categorized, and they are not disclosed by by categories. They are not disclosed by purpose here. So only a short description that they might use cookies. Next section, mode and place of processing the data. This is an interesting actually name of the section. I've never seen such kind, but let's see what it is about. So this is about using security measures. So the company claims that they are using proper methods, proper security measures or safeguards. They are explaining, so they explain in more details what actually tools, what procedures they are enabled to ensure that the data that you share with them, users share with them, that they are protected in a proper manner. So they are disclosing this right here. What else? So maybe accessible. So there's also, I see some point of information. Okay, so this is also about a little bit about purposes of processing, and this is a mix of purposes of processing and vendors or external parties, as they are called here, with whom the company might share your information with. And you might see here that the company claims that they are involved with the operation of the operation of the website, for administration, for sales, for marketing, legal and system administration purposes. And they do also share the information with external parties like third-party technical providers, mail carriers, hosting providers, IT companies, communication agencies. And they are engaged as data processors. So all of this is especially good for sure, but the issue is still unclear is for what purposes and in what actually manner and in what situation the company discloses the personal data of users with these categories of vendors or third parties. And these purposes that the company put in the brackets, they are also not clear. They just general description of the purposes without any explanation, without any guess how actually you're going to use the data for this under these categories. It's not clear at all, I would say, that what are you going to do with this data and how you're going to use this. If this is the only section that is dedicated to purposes of processing and the sharing practices, this is not good at all, especially taking into account that the company also targets or collects information from European users, from United Kingdom residents as well. This is not enough. It's too short explanation, without any explanation, I would say. So place of operations. So this is information, I guess, about the storage of data. So let me check. So processes, the data controllers, operating offices. Not clear at all. The company claims that the processing is taking place within the operating offices of the data controller, but we know only one fact about the place of the company that was present on this privacy policy on the beginning here, and in the contact section that the company is placed in Tennessee, in Nashville. And that's all. But now companies claiming they do have operating offices, so it actually can mean anything. It can mean that the company has offices around the United States in different locations. It can mean that company has offices around the world, including European Union, Canada, I don't know, Australia, African regions, any other offices. So we don't know, we don't understand where the operation is taking place, where the servers of the company actually located. All this information is still unclear for us. Conservation time. Usually this section is called actually retention time or retention and disposal of data. It depends, but conservation time is really not regular term for this kind of explanation, because it relates to the term of how long the company is going to keep data of users, of clients, and so the time necessary to provide the services. This is pretty standard practice not to disclose specific time periods, because most privacy laws, they do not oblige you to disclose, they do not oblige you to define a strict time limits, strict time periods, and you have some discretion in the definition of defining how long you are going to store and keep personal data of your data subjects, of your individuals. That's why in most cases the company rely on this wording, like we are keeping your data for the time necessary to provide the services. So we do not keep it, we keep it for as long as necessary to provide the services. So this is pretty standard practice. So I cannot say that this is not compliant. I would say that this is too limited and too short, again, without any explanation. If you want to make really good practice and to be really transparent with your users, you need to disclose their criteria on which you rely when you decide for how long you are going to keep the data of your users. That's what you need to make. This information is not present here, unfortunately. The use of the collected data. So the use of the collected data should actually explain us the purposes of the collection data and for processing this data. The company explains that they collect this data to provide the services, first of all, and analytics for the service, as well as, and the other purpose, as well as analytics and managing email addresses and sending messages. And the personal data used for each purpose is outlined in the specific sections of this document. So at this point, I haven't found any specific section that explains the use and the purpose for processing of each type of each piece of data, as it's claimed right here. Maybe we'll find them in next sections, but at this stage, we didn't find this. So the services contained in this section enable the owner to monitor and analyze web traffic and can be used to track user behavior. Yeah, for sure they can, and they used for tracking user behavior. First of all, Google Analytics, as we have already seen them, right? When we've explored our cookies, right? When we explored the websites through the web developer panel. They also are mentioning here Stripe for payment processing and Crisp Chat. So chat sessions with, so I assume that Crisp Chat, this is the vendor that is used in this chat tool, right? Because when I opened this chat tool, I haven't found any information about the vendor who actually, by whom it was powered. But I assumed that this chat is actually, should be governed by some service provider. So this is Crisp Chat. Okay, so we now the company in this section disclosed only 3 vendors. At the same time, when we explored web developer panel, we also saw Google AdWords, Google advertising, right? We also saw Vimeo for website functionality for running their video that are integrated within blogs. We also saw, what else we saw? Cloudflare or not? Let me check it, double check it. Let me just check it. Where it is? Sorry. Yeah, I'm doing right now. So loading too slow. I don't know why. Not here. Network. Let's see network calls. So they can be good tech, even a service provider, but they mentioned them as a separate services on which the company relies. So it would be normal to disclose all tools that you are relying on, because you are also using Vimeo, as I've mentioned. You are having Facebook as a marketing, as advertising networks. You have Google Tag Manager, Cloudflare, by the way, for security, I guess, features, the one that we saw that prevented us to enter the website. Facebook, I've already mentioned. Google Ads for the same purpose, advertising networks. Okay, so, and that's all that I see right now. So none of this have been mentioned in the privacy policy, and I don't know for what reason, why they just disclosed this one. Even here you can see that, for example, for processing payments, they are mentioning Stripe, but they are omitting PayPal, and at the same time they rely on actually we saw information about PayPal when we were on the affiliate application, remember? Because you can actually, if you are filling in this application, you can choose what kind of payment providers you want to use. And it would be also smart and right to mention PayPal as well here. So anyway, it's not full list of service providers. It's unfortunately not full list of vendors that the company use. And another issue is that even here we can see short information about the purpose of processing payments, right, for here, and Google Analytics for web analytics service providers. But we don't see any information on what categories of data collected. We see here we see here a short description on cookie and usage data for personal data collected in Google Analytics and Stripe. For Stripe, your name, email, and credit card information is shared with Stripe. Okay, and never stored. Crisp Chat, no personal identifiable information is collected by Crisp Chat. This is really strange, because when you entered this window, this chat, you've seen that the first data piece that we need to enter in order to actually be able to use this chat is email address. And this is pretty obvious, because this is exactly what its personal information look like. This is personally identifiable information. So this information is not actually it's not actually true that no personal identifiable information is collected, because they do collect it. And don't forget about the attachments and possible declarations, possible disclosure of personal data within this chat as well that might appear. Also pay attention here that the company places their links to the privacy policies of these vendors, of the Stripe and Crisp Chat. But at the same time, earlier the company explained that these vendors that the company engaged, that they are enrolled they are used in the role of data processors. So they do not actually collect any information from your website visitors voluntarily by themselves because they wanted to do this. No, they just performing the specific functions, and these functions depends on the functionality for which you are engaging them. And in this case, this company is really presented in the role of data processors. So you cannot share the links to their privacy policies for users to explain how they collected this data, because they're all described within the privacy policies of these vendors. They explain how the company exercised their function in the role of data controller, not as a data processor. When we talk about data processors and their roles and their obligations, we usually rely on data processing agreements. And that's what should be placed here if the company wanted to show their functions. There may be some discretions of each of these vendors, but not their privacy policies. So this information is not applicable to this section. It shouldn't be here. Additional information about data collection and processing. Let's see what this section about. So, legal purposes. For legal action, I guess this is the first purpose for which your data might be used, for data of users. Additional information about users' personal data. Contextual information concerning particular services, system logs and maintenance, file, the record interactions, information not contained in this policy, the right of users. Okay, I guess that these are all different, these are all other sections. So it's really difficult to read and to understand, because you can see that this policy structure is really bad. I mean, it doesn't have any numbers, doesn't have any plan or structure. It's not clear what section relates to which section. And I'm trying just to guess, to figure out what the company wanted to say by this section. So additional information. So we have this big section called additional information about data collection and processing. And in this section, you might see subsections, which are explaining some parts that should be, to my best knowledge, they should be presented separately as separate sections that actually clarify information about changes to this privacy policy, about the rights of users and the choices that users have. But all this just combined for some reason in one section, and it's called like additional information, which is not actually true. So the company is claiming that they might use information for legal purposes, like for in the court, what else? For some other possible legal action arising from improper use. So probably they are talking about legal enforcement, about their protection of the interests of the company, and in the cases where they might need to protect their interests, protect maybe interests of other customers and users, they might use personal data of customers, of website visitors to for this reason, right? But for the real issue here is that this is one of the purposes. So you need to disclose information about your intended use, about your purposes of collection in one section. It should be a one common section with a clear explanation of all purposes, of how you're going to use and in what way, right? So for some reason, the company just claims one legal action as a separate function, as a separate purpose, and that's all, right? So I don't see any other sections, any other provisions relating to the purpose of disclosure. Let's move forward. So additional information about users' personal data. So again, this application may provide users with contextual information concerning particular services. I actually don't understand to what kind of information or section this relates, that the application, so probably this platform that the clients can use, that user can see, can find some additional information, contextual information concerning their particular services. I'm just trying to figure out how it relates to their processing of personal data, because if it means that the company provides additional explanation on the services that they are providing, it doesn't relate to personal data collection. Doesn't relate to the processing of personal data. So it's not clear for me what was the purpose of this subsection. System logs and maintenance. For operation and maintenance purposes. System logs, so for purposes such as IP addresses. So this is explanation of purpose of personal data collection and processing. Another purpose. Again, it's difficult for me to be clear here because this is not structured at all. So if a company explains again the purposes of collection and processing of personal data, they should place this purpose within one section, and then it makes sense. Then you understand all the purposes and how the company will collect your information and how they will process this. Information not contained in this policy. More details concerning the collection or processing of personal data may be requested from the data controller at any time at its contact information. It's really bad practice, I would say. This is not transparent at all. I'm not sure how company will provide you information if you request this, and whether they even had any such requests before. This is everything unclear, and this is actually also the first time I'm seeing something like this. So the company doesn't disclose every detail, doesn't disclose all that they should, but they are providing you with the option to request more information. Not sure. I would say that this is not true how it should work in practice. The right of users. So this actually should be a separate sections explaining all choices and all rights that users have when they enter this website. So let's see what the company claims here. Okay, so the company provides you with the right to know what data is collected from the company. So meaning this is the right to get access to personal data. This is how it is called in privacy laws. You can also verify accuracy or ask to supplement, cancel, update, or correct any information. So this is the right to correction. This is how it is called. When users wants to update any information that is not accurate within the records, so they can exercise this right. So you can also ask to transform the information into anonymous format or to block any data held in violation in violation of the law. So into anonymous format or to block any data. So probably, I mean, this is also, it's not regular right, it's not how it's usually, it's not even presented in such way, and it's not called like this in most privacy laws. So this is about transforming data into anonymous format, which actually happens only when users is no longer your user, when you no longer need this data for performing the contract for provision of the services, but how they can exercise these rights when your client, when maybe website visitor is staying active, it's still not clear for me, really. And what else? You can also oppose the treatment for any and all legitimate reasons. Again, this wording is not clear. I mean, I would require additional explanation about what was the purpose and what they did intend to disclose within this. What is the meaning of this? Because opposing the treatment for any legitimate reason, so possibly we're talking about opting out of some processing operations. If we talk about, for example, users' right that have the users that have within European Union, within the United Kingdom as well, but it's not like it's explained here. So maybe it was about this, but it's, again, I don't know why it's so difficult to explain. So I don't have any like clear meaning of this explanation that is here. So we see here that you can send the request to data controller at the contact information set above, and we did see this contact details. So you can, let me check. You can contact the company, but yeah, they do have here email address, so they have also address, so you can probably both mail and email the company about this rights. Next, this application does not support do not track requests. This is the disclosure that is required by Californian privacy law. That's why the company put it here. And what next? Changes to this privacy policy, explanation about how the company would actually react and how the company would inform users about any changes that happening within the privacy policy. So this is section dedicated to this. This one required, for example, again, by the same Californian privacy laws. You need to inform your users how you are going to do this. And information about this privacy policy. So this is about their contributor, I guess, right? So you can see the vendor, this is their provider, and this is their, as far as I remember, this is the service that helps to draft your privacy policy. This is an automated tool, automation tools. As you can see right now, this tool specifically didn't do this job real good, right? Because there are a lot of mistakes and a lot of failures. I don't know how even, actually the first time I see this in such bad order. Definitions and legal references. So this section, as I understand, it explains the meaning of different terms, of different definitions that were used above when we explored these sections. And here's the explanation of what every term is meaning. Cookies, legal information, data controller, data processor. So legal information, and last section we see notice to European users. So this privacy statement has been prepared in the fulfillment of the obligation under Article 10 European Directive and under the provision of Directive on subject of cookies. I don't understand to what kind of privacy statement they mean right here, because they actually making this reference to cookies, you see, subject of cookies. But it's not clear for me to what section and where is this section to European users. I haven't found any section here. I only see privacy policy, which we've explored right now, and no special sections, no special notices to European users, and nothing like this. Nothing about cookies exploration, categories or classification, nothing about their purposes, so nothing of this. What I can say is that if the company mentions that they are subject to European directives, European Union directives, and we also see their categories, their user audience also located within the United Kingdom, so possibly they know and understand this as well. To do this in the right manner, they should need to perform a separate privacy section or a separate annex to this privacy policy, explaining the rights, explaining the additional information that is required for the disclosure to European users, because if the company is subject to GDPR, to European Union privacy laws, as well as UK GDPR, they have additional obligations. So they need to disclose legal grounds of the processing of this data, not only description of the purposes. They also need to provide justification on what actually ground they rely when they process this data. They need to explain the whole bunch of user rights the users, data subjects of UK and EU, European Union have when they enter the website. They need also to explain international data transfers that happen in between this American service, because the company is based in United States, and European Union, meaning that cross-border transfers definitely happening. Nothing about this as well. So we don't understand what safeguard measures are taken by the company to protect this personal data when they're leaving European Union and come to United States. So all these details are missing, and all the sections are poorly described. I mean, they are not structured. You cannot clearly understand the purposes of processing. You cannot see the full scope of personal data collected from what we actually seen. Their list of vendors is not fully disclosed. We don't understand the underlying purposes for the use of each of the service providers, right? So all these details are not clear. So my actually summing up this today's audit, I could say that company does really require a really good comprehensive audit, because what we did today, we only explored website visitor walkthrough. We didn't even explore platform from inside, from the client perspective, when you're becoming an active customer of the company. We didn't explore what's happening with the data of approved affiliates, for example. Nothing about this at all in this privacy policy. No special section about within privacy policy for these categories of data subjects. So my recommendation, if I would be asked for sure to perform a comprehensive privacy audit, including cookies, exploring all data flows, exploring all data collection points even more considerably, and rewriting this privacy policy fully, because the one that we have now, it's really, really bad. So that's actually all for today. So I will see you on the next privacy audits, and we will select some other website and we will explore other features. See you next.